We will not copyright or trademark that. We do not have the rights to this at all. Please do not sue us. Thank
you. Welcome to These Unprecedented Gays, featuring Joe Granelli and Paul Smith. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and review wherever you stream your podcasts. Check us out on Instagram at tugayspod and email us at tugayspod@yahoo.com. We hope you enjoy. Hey, all you tuggers and tuggettes. This is Paul.
And I'm Joe.
And we're These Unprecedented Gays.
We are, aren't we? Are we?
We are.
I haven't seen you in a while.
I know, because we recorded at an earlier
We did a
date.
Sunday fun day.
Yeah, so it was like almost a week.
And you had a mimosa.
I know, I did.
Yeah, and we were
recording.
Fun. Yeah.
I'm fun like that.
We're always fun. We're fun always.
So how was your week?
It was good. So Easter just happened.
Right.
And I was going to go home, but Max had a little boo-boo on his eye. So then as a very good parent, I stayed home and canceled my trip, which was actually okay because then I was able to relax. But since then, I've like hard-boiled some eggs. And the highlight of my week, I told you already, is that I'm making a lot of egg salad.
Okay. So, egg salad is just chicken salad when you think about it.
I know. You posted that, and I'm still not over it because
it wrecked you, right?
It did. Yes. I'm just like, wait, I would say like a good 8 hours of my life was given to pondering that. Yeah. So no, and then I had to take care of Max, which was fine, but he needs these like special eye drops, which is basically like Neosporin. And like putting eye drops in a dog, it's an eye gel.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So I have to like sumo pin him down, and he doesn't like it. And then
maybe he does.
I mean,
don't kink shame him.
No. Oh, he doesn't. Trust me. He gets all squirmy, and then I'll end up getting it in. I'm like, okay, you get a treat. You get a treat now. So I guess now if I have to put eye drops in anyone's eyes, I'll just give him a treat after.
Okay.
Yeah, but I also have a lot of Cadbury eggs.
Oh, okay.
Well, not a lot. Four left. Yeah, I had 16.
God.
What? You have, it's one pack.
Okay.
You eat one pack.
All right.
Yes.
So.
And you?
I had a very busy day today because I had to like work at the restaurant today, and it was not so busy, but like, we had a lot of prep work and stuff to do. But I will say this, like one of the guys was talking to the other guys and they're like, I'm going to go over to the market and order some sandwiches. And one of the guys like, oh, you should get the Korean crack. It's called Seaside Market, and they do this Cardiff crack, and it's like
I've heard of this.
Yeah, like flank steak kind of thing, and it's marinated, it's beautiful flavors and stuff. But they do other flavors too, like Korean flavor and Chinese,
like
and
kimchi?
different kind of like you do different marinades on it.
Oh yes.
So he's like, oh, you should try the Korean crack or the Chinese crack. And then I looked at all of them, and I'm like, y'all ever try this Filipino crack?
And then did you bend over and do a bend and snap on your butt? And you're like, this is my crack right here. Lick it. Toss that salad. Egg salad. Toss that egg salad. Right? No? Whatever. I'm connected. Get your Cadbury eggs. Ooh.
So anyway, that was my day. And I got my teeth cleaned and I got my hair cut. And now we're here with our special guest in the studio live from New York.
It's Saturday night.
It's not.
Whatever.
Don't tease me. It's Wednesday.
I know.
So we have Alex Frankle. Hi, Alex.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Well,
better now that you're here.
I know. I know we get video of him, and he's very handsome.
Yeah, well, he doesn't get video of us though, so that's we're sorry. We have a great freeze frame of Paul, and then we just get to see you very dynamic.
I'm currently engaged in some artistic endeavors, but
was that
I'm in California.
Painting?
It sure is, yeah.
Oh,
it's low key a dream of mine to like do a movie with like Seth Rogen and Snoop Dogg one day. Not to be in a movie with Seth Rogen and Snoop Dogg, but to roll a joint for them. To get like their seal of approval that I'm a professional marijuana smoker.
Would that be your drag name? Roll a joint?
Oh my God, that's a good one.
Okay, wait, like I know we're like about to like asking questions, but this is like a super like tangent. When I was in college, there was a girl in my hall. Her name was Rolla, and her last name was Chowdhury, and she always looked like she was really high. So I called her Rolla Blunt.
Oh,
yeah. She was not high at all and never did any drugs or drinking or anything.
So now, anyway, do you roll a good, hashish?
I'll show you in a second.
Is it legal in New York? Are you allowed to do this? Are you going to get arrested?
No, please.
Can the cops come in and arrest you while you're rolling this? And then we can have it on tape.
So you're
this is the poster child for white privilege right here.
Oh, perfect. Welcome.
Yeah. Right? No, they just legalized it recreationally. I don't know when those laws are actually going to go into effect, but like, it's New York City. I've smoked many a joint right in front of a New York City cop and like blown the smoke in their direction, and they don't care.
And then you gave it to Cuomo. I gotcha.
Right, exactly.
Puff, puff, pass.
New Yorkers are happy to go back to hating Cuomo again, but yeah.
Ooh, the tea.
So now, for people who want to check you out on like social medias and stuff like that, what is your handle on Instagram? And do you have Twitter or TikTok?
My handle on Instagram is at @AlexFrankle _the lion haired. And of course, I don't have my long hair anymore, which is unfortunate.
Did you lose all your power?
A little bit, yeah. I gotta
is that
so
Thor?
Here's a really funny story. Last year, January, New Year's 2020. Like, we had no fucking clue, right? I went to the House of Yes New Year's party with all of my friends, and I hippie flipped for the first time, which was great.
What is that?
When you mix ecstasy and mushrooms.
Oh.
Okay. And I don't do drugs, so that's cool for you.
So it was great. I was having the time of my life, and one of my best friends, this guy Steve, he has now taken on the mantle of like the long-haired caveman Thor-looking guy in the group, and we're in the dance floor, and there's I'm talking to a person on the dance floor, and they're like 100% my like perfect, like, let's go sit on my face, let's do this.
Oh, okay.
And then Steve walks up, and this person sees Steve, and I cease to exist, and they go and just put their hands right in his hair, and I was just like, God damn it should have been me.
Oh, that's
so wait, let's rewind for a second. And did we introduce him?
Oh, so we're going to explain why we're talking to Alex.
Okay.
So we are talking to Alex because he is the first big and tall model to shoot with Lululemon.
Mm-hmm.
And you were actually printed, or was it digital print?
It was all digital print.
Okay.
What's the difference?
Well, it's like you either get into a catalog or you do online.
Isn't everything digital now?
No, you still get catalogs.
Like a physical.
Like
the JCPenney catalog?
Yes.
That's the only catalog I know. Go ahead, humble beginnings.
Throwback.
So explain to our listeners, like, how did you get the opportunity to do that with Lululemon?
Sure. So I've been doing the whole plus size male modeling thing for the better part of like 5.5 years now. And what's funny is when I started, Lululemon was one of the clients that I had really set my sights on. And I started modeling before plus size male modeling was even really a thing. There was one guy who was getting all of the gigs, and he was the most well-known person in that community. And it has since in the last... Too. Yeah, Zach Miko. And Zach's a really good friend of mine.
The nemesis.
No, not at all. No. I'm good friends with his wife. Like his wife and I both work for the same company teaching chess to preschoolers. And Zach was a really inspirational person for me because I was being pushed into modeling at the time by a photographer buddy of mine. And I was like, please, no one wants to hire my fat ass to be a model. And then I saw that IMG signed Jack, and I was like, oh, maybe they do. And then I started doing it, and I loved it. Like, ironically enough, nothing made me feel more myself than being in the modeling industry, and helped me feel more confident about myself. And I was also going through like a series of bad breakups and a weight loss journey at the time. So fast forward to 2020, COVID happens, obviously, and I gain like the COVID 60. And I'm after having lost like 175 pounds over the course of a couple years, I've gained a significant amount of it back. And I'm in the worst shape of my professional career. And Lululemon books me to be the first big and tall model they've ever hired. Like it was so funny at the time. I was thinking like, oh, I'm bored. I'll make a teaching TikTok because like I'm hilarious and my students are ridiculous. That never ended up happening. But I happened to get a video of the moment where I got the confirmation email from my agent that Lulu had hired me. And it was literally like I'm telling a story to the kid I was working with, and then I read it. And like the record scratches in my brain, and I was like, my jaw just drops. And it was one of those, like, I had to take a deep breath and like slow everything down for a second to make sure it's real. and I had to say to my student, I'm like, I'm sorry, dude, I got to stop for a minute and go do a happy dance in the corner.
We'll catch up later, kid.
Right. But it was cool, actually. His parents and I have become pretty friendly over Zoom over the course of the year. And they were like the first family to search all through the Lulu website when everything came out and find all the photos. It was real cool.
So was it just really 2020, January 2020 when this all kind of hit?
No. This happened in October of 2020. And then it came out, I think, right at the end of October, beginning in November.
Oh, this wasn't that long ago.
This was super recent.
Okay.
And it was, it was a big moment for me because like I was a person for the longest time, like, until I started modeling. I was the guy who was, I was the fat guy who wouldn't take his shirt off at the pool, and I was super insecure, didn't want pictures taken of me, and the whole 9 yards. And then fast forward to, height of the pandemic. And here I am shirtless on Lululemon's website, which, especially considering their history with larger, more diverse body types, that was a really big fucking deal for me.
It's a huge thing, yeah.
Yeah, it was so funny. There's a person, I'm going to keep this as ambiguous as possible. There's a person who is within the friend group of one of my best friends. I've never actually met this person in real life. But they are the type of person that likes to just, squat over your happy moment and golden shower it. And when I posted the first photo of it, they decided to come for me and send me all these articles of horrible things that Lululemon has done and like things that the, to surrounding fat bodies and like, quotes from the past CEO and this and that. And I'm like, you know what? I don't give a shit about this because just from the sheer fact that they hired my fat ass to model for them, that is a huge step in the right direction.
But also you're getting paid, so like, listen, doesn't matter.
I'm gonna get that money.
They're my client. Yeah, they're my client.
Yeah, unless they pay your bills, pay them bitches, no mind. That's what RuPaul said.
Like, I will do whatever Lulu wants me to do. Please.
Can we put in requests?
I mean, the worst part of the whole day was like it was such an awesome time on set. But the thing that really sucked, like I don't know if either of you guys own any Lululemon clothes, but they are pretty awesome.
I can't afford it.
I can't either. That's the cruel joke.
I was going to ask, how much you get for free. Can you hook us up with a discount?
None. I didn't get anything for free. They tailored 9 pairs of pants specifically to my body, and I didn't get to keep any of them. And
they didn't give you anything?
But they're all samples. They can't. You almost never get anything for free when you're on set for a modeling job.
What? Why?
Yeah.
What?
That's a great question.
Then why do it? I mean, of course, there's like representation and like all that kind of stuff. I get it, but like free clothing. So, okay, that was one of my questions. You don't get anything.
Unfortunately, not. No.
Damn.
Sorry about it.
Well, my modeling career is not taking off. None of it getting free clothes. Jeez.
So. Right. Now that you have had this and stuff, do you feel a responsibility to be a role model for other people so they feel comfortable in their bodies and their skin, no matter the size?
I've always felt that responsibility since I've started doing this. I think that the Lululemon thing was able to give me a larger platform by which to do it. Because I mean, you guys know I'm not gay, right?
I did not know that, but okay. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So it's important context for this story. So, I went through a really bad breakup in 2016 and then lost 100 pounds. And it was the first time in my life I'd ever been considered conventionally hot before. And that was when the whole modeling thing started for me. And it was really fascinating to see literally the before and after of how I was treated by the world around me, specifically the people that I wanted to sleep with. And where all of a sudden I was the people that then came out of the woodwork that from past lives, it was incredible. It was really all of a sudden I have worth now just because my meat sack is a little bit less meaty. This is interesting. But I thought it was, I thought it was really, I thought it was really important that my experience be shared, because it wasn't until I lost all of the weight and then gained a bunch of it back and had that whole self-discovery journey that I realized that actually what I look like doesn't matter. It helps, sure, because people are shallow and stupid, but what I look like doesn't matter. It's, what is number one, the contents of my character, sorry. And two, can I tell a story? Am I charming? Am I fun to be around? Do I have a good set of moral ideals, blah, 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 blah. Can I hold my breath for a really long time? All those
Probably
things.
not.
Definitely can. But I'm an opera singer.
I was gonna say it's all the marijuana you're smoking. It brings the capacity open.
Right. You got a lung capacity. You're
Yeah.
building it.
There you go.
So did Lululemon open any doors for you?
Lululemon, I was on the Tamron Hall show on ABC, and
yes, I remember seeing that.
Who's that?
There are talks of more gigs to come in the future, and it's one of those things. So I'm short for the big and tall modeling industry. I'm only 6 feet tall, but the industry standard is guys that are 6'4", 6'5". So I'm not necessarily big and tall. I'm just big. And it's been the height has been a real challenge for me in getting booked more consistently and booking bigger clients, because the samples are for guys that are 6'5", which is frustrating for me because it's alienating an entire subset of people who want to buy clothes from these brands, but aren't being represented to see what they actually look like in the context of how the clothes are cut. So the thing that was really cool about Lululemon is, this guy, Miguel Perdomo, on Instagram, he's the real MP23. He was, even before Zach Miko, the original plus-size male model. He was one of the original Sean John models back in the day. He's been doing this for a very long time. And Miguel was the guy who got me signed at Wilhelmina, the agency I'm currently with, who are amazing. And Miguel and I were the first two guys that Lululemon had hired to be their big and tall guys. And I thought it was so great that, one, I get to do the shoot with Miguel, even though we weren't on set the same day together. And two, that we are getting two actually diverse types of larger male bodies. Miguel is more of the built, kind of muscular, also a little little meatier, 6'5" guy. And I am the 6 foot tall, barely dude with a big belly and man boobs. And I was, I thought it was a great step in the right direction for Lulu. And I was impressed at how well everything fit me. And then just for me personally, being shirtless on their website was crazy. As the guy who would wear a wrestling singlet during the belly flop competition in high school just to hide the man boobs from everyone in my school, even though I was openly humiliating myself at the belly flop competition anyway, I still had that inner self-conscious thing where I wanted to hide myself. And I have gotten more opportunities since the Lululemon thing. It's that thing that legitimizes me to other big clients. Lulu, as far as I'm concerned, Lulu is the Armani of the athleisure brands. And, it's that's the top tippy top. Next,
rocket launched you into the next level.
Oh yeah. But also it's COVID world, so nothing's happening. It's
but you got exposure. That's huge, right?
Yeah. And paid exposure, which is the other big thing too.
I would pay to get exposed too. So okay, I have a question. So you said about 5 years in the making. This is right.
Mm-hmm.
What's your day job? If you have another,
I teach chess to preschoolers.
Okay, like, so is that that's foreign to me? Is that a New York thing?
It is a New York thing. It's also an LA thing. So I work for a company called Chess at 3, and Chess at 3 is a really
preschoolers. Okay, that just connected.
Like, literally 3-year-olds.
Oh my God.
So I teach chess to kids who still shit their pants.
That's me. You're good. I don't. Not in public.
It was my side hustle prior to COVID, and then I have been very, very extremely ridiculously fortunate and privileged that I have managed to, like, even though my performing career is completely fucking dead in the water at this point, I was able to, like, keep a job, keep my income, and my part-time side hustle turned into a way more than full-time gig. So I teach the children of, like, the 1% of the 1%, who want to train their little children to be CEOs.
That'll be $3,000 for me to tell you to put your rook. Is it a rook?
Yeah.
A knight king me? Is that it? Or is that checkers?
That's checkers.
King's checkers.
But it's
Same
cool.
thing.
So, like, I work for this company, and the way we teach chess to 3-year-olds is through storytelling. So each one of the pieces on the board has their own story. So, like, the white king is King Chompers. King Chompers loves food more than anything else in the world. He eats so much food every day. He eats 10 pancakes for breakfast, 20 sandwiches for lunch, and 30 pizzas for dinner. So does King Chompers, right? So does King Chomper have a tiny little tummy or a big balloon belly? There's always that aha moment where the kids, like, figure it out, where they're like, oh, big balloon belly. So then does he move fast or slow? He moves slow. You then hand them the piece and put it on the chessboard, and you ask them to show you how King Chompers moves. And 9 times out of 10, they'll move him 1 square, 1 step forward. It's incredible. And we have silly stories like that for every single... I'll teach you. We have silly stories like that for every single one.
I'm a preschooler at heart.
Jeez. So, did you find, like, you got busier when Queen's Gambit came out and it was, like, huge on Netflix and stuff, because everybody wanted to get into chess when they watched
I was already pretty damn busy by the time Queen's Gambit came out, and it really it hurt my soul that I couldn't show them parts of Queen's Gambit because they were 3 or 4 years old. However, I did have this one student. I have this one student who is so much smarter than I am. And a
3-year-old?
He's 7.
Okay,
7.
Naturally.
And his father is brilliant, and his mother is brilliant, and his mom showed him some of the Queen's Gambit, and she happened to show him the scene from the first or second episode where she goes, when she's a little kid, and she goes to the high school and she plays against the chess team, and she plays them all at the same time. And my student wanted to try that. He wanted to he's like, I want to play against all your 3-year-olds at the same time, and I want to do it, all in my head without the board, just, like, saying what moves, blah, 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 blah. I was like, do you have any fucking idea how hard that is? Why don't we try that with one board? We'll do that right now. You play against me, and you play the whole game in your head. And I'm thinking, we're going to get 3 or 4 moves in, and he's going to be like, fuck this. This is too hard. Let's play the game where I can see the board. He played the entire fucking game.
Wow.
And it was honestly, it was so funny. I had to keep muting myself because I was laughing so hard, because this kid's really competitive, and he was super into it, and he kept, like, closing his eyes to visualize the board, and he was, like, moving the pieces with his hands. I was so impressed. We got to like towards the end of the game, and it was just there were too few pieces on the board and too much for him to keep track of. So I let him go back to it, and then he kicked my ass. But I texted his mom afterward, and I was like, you might need a better chess teacher than me, because your kid's real smart.
I would just be like, you sunk my battleship.
Or for an extra cost, I can make him better. Double your pay and double the output.
Yeah.
Milk those rich people.
Right. Also, have you ever seen the Ballad of Buster Scruggs?
No.
I
haven't seen
you
much.
gotta watch the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, because I had a real moment when I realized that the actor who plays Beltic on Queen's Gambit is the same guy that played Dudley fucking Dursley in the Harry Potter movies.
Right?
And I was like, since when is he such an incredible actor? So in Ballad of Buster Scruggs, it's like 5 short films to Coen Brothers movie. It's so good. In one of them, that actor plays a armless, legless man who is an orator, and he travels around America in Wild West times telling stories, and Liam Neeson is the person who travels with him. And it is so good. That particular little short film is really, really beautiful and really amazing. And when I saw him in Queen's Gambit, I was like, wow, you are such a good actor. And then I realized he was the guy from Harry Potter, and I was like, whoa!
Wait, Dudley Dursley?
Yeah, he played Dudley Dursley,
the brother,
Harry Potter's cousin that he lived with.
Yeah,
and he's super skinny now.
Huh?
But that was like my little. We went to dinner with some friends last night, and I was like, "Did you guys know?" But also the kid from Love Actually is also has a big part in Queen's Gambit. He's the skinny blonde guy. Like the cowboy kind of
Jojen Reed?
Yeah.
The guy from Game of Thrones?
And the Game of Thrones, but he was the little boy in Love Actually.
Oh, wow.
That's why
I've never actually seen
I
Love
haven't
Actually.
seen it either.
But I just couldn't...
There's something wrong with you? Yes, get out of frame. We're done with you now.
I haven't seen Love Actually. Well, I get your ref normally, so...
By the way, my dog came to visit, finally.
Oh my god, yay!
Aww.
He's still bitter. I cut his balls off last Tuesday, and he's still pretty pissed about it. Yeah.
Oh wow! You're on your own. You did that on your own.
No, you did it at the house.
I have a rusty machete in the closet. I figured we just. I'm a boy.
Naturally. He doesn't have a cone. That's good, at least.
Do you have another question about?
I do. Yeah.
Or something?
So I'm going to ask more like modeling questions because that's what I wrote down for questions. So I guess I'll go with this one. Did you always want to get into modeling? Like when you were younger, what was your dream? Or like, did you just kind of fall into it?
When I was younger, it's all connected. So when I was younger, I really wanted to be an actor. I was a child actor, like not child actor, but like I grew up doing theater. And
like, what have I seen you in? Love Actually?
No,
Are you the Love Actually kid?
No, I'm the kid from Teeth. Yeah, I grew up doing theater, and I always wanted to do that. And then I started like playing sports in high school, and I was like, I'm going to be an athlete. And then I was like, no, I'm not. I'm going to go do theater. So
Same.
My senior year of high school, I was auditioning for all the musical theater conservatories, and even though I can't dance to save my life unless I'm on a lot of drugs and I don't know what my name is. But I can't dance. So like musical theater was always, I was doomed to be a character actor for my whole career because I couldn't dance and also I was fat. So my senior year of high school, one of the vocal coaches at my choir program was like, hey, I need men for, I need men for the Don Giovanni chorus with this little opera company in San Francisco I'm the chorus master for. Do you want $100 to sing in this chorus? And I was like, you had me at $100. So I was like 16, I was 17. And I was like, hell yeah. So I go do this. And at the time I had a voice teacher in this choir called Chanticleer. Have you guys ever heard of Chanticleer?
Yes. My husband has, yes.
So
sounds like an alcohol.
If you haven't ever heard anything of Chanticleer, you should look them up. It's a 12-voice all-male choir, and they're one of the best choirs in the world. And my voice teacher at the time was in Chanticleer, but they were on tour in Japan for like 3 months. So wasn't very useful to me when he wasn't in San Francisco. I grew up in San Francisco. And
what part?
Yeah. I grew up outside of San Francisco in Walnut Creek, but I would be
Shut
in the city
up.
almost every single day.
Where'd
Why?
you go to high school?
Acalanes.
Okay, I went to De La Salle.
Oh, no
Why
shit.
are we having so many people that are like from my hometown? Who was the other person?
I don't know.
We had another person as a guest who was from like my hometown too. Oh no, that wasn't someone at work.
No, it was
sorry.
Coco. I think it was Coco.
Yes.
It was Coco.
Where in Walnut
my
Creek
God.
did you live?
I'm from Concord, like Concord, Clayton
nice.
area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, how old are you? That's
29.
maybe a personal question. Oh, you're a baby.
Yeah, I'm a baby.
He's as old as you are.
I'm 31. I'm 2 years older. I'm much more mature.
Yeah, right.
I'm not. I'm a preschooler at heart.
Okay.
Anyway, so you were in San Francisco. You grew up there, and $100.
Yeah, so I go there, and the guy who was singing the Dawn in this production was incredible. Like, when Baz Luhrmann did La Boheme on Broadway in 2003, he sang Marcello in that and won a Tony Award for it. And I was like, God damn, this fucking guy. And he, I went up to him one day after rehearsal, and I was like, do you teach voice lessons? And he said, yeah. And then I had a lesson with him, and he was working at San Francisco Opera a lot at the time, and I had my lesson in the big rehearsal studio upstairs on the 5th floor of San Francisco Opera. And I sang something from I think it was like Three Penny Opera or I think it was a tango ballad from Three Penny Opera. And he heard my voice and he looked at me and he was like, here's an old Italian song. Go learn this. Don't worry about the words. Come back in 3 days and let's work on it. And I did. And he looked me dead in the eye. He was like, you're going to quit musical theater and you're going to be an opera singer. And I was like, oh, okay. All right, cool. So I did that. And I'm an opera singer now, and I've got all the debt to prove it. And I was living in San Francisco in 2015, and my best friend is a conductor who was living in San Francisco, and we were hanging out, and he told me about this photographer buddy of his who was a pianist from Eastman Conservatory, and he lived in New York, and he was coming to visit, and he took these headshots for Chad, and I was like, well, god damn, I need to shoot with this guy. And I'd been using the same headshot from when I was like 17, and I was like 24 at the time. 23 or 24. And I set up a shoot with Jiang, and that was the day that everything changed for me. Like, it was really that day. We shot all over San Francisco. I had just bought this like custom tailored, beautiful 3-piece, like blue checkerboard suit. It was real nice. And we shot all around San Francisco, and Jiang shoots with natural light and he edits really quickly. And so he sent me some of the photos back that day. And at the time I had just started dating. I was really punching up. Like, I was really fighting out of my weight class. I was dating a member of the Corps de Ballet at San Francisco Ballet. And I had no idea how I managed to land that, but like, it also ruined every other interaction with every woman I'll ever have in my life, because I've reached the mountaintop. it's never going to get better.
Climb every mountain. Hey, never say never.
Fair point. I mean, I get made fun of by my friends a lot because every woman I date is a dancer and they all kind of look the same, but I mean, hey, we all have a type. So
at least you're consistent.
Exactly. Jiang sent me this photo of me. There was a motorcycle on a street, and he was like, go sit on the motorcycle. And I was like, what? I'm not going to do that. And he was like, go fucking sit on the motorcycle. So I did. And he took, Paul, I'm going to send you one of these on Instagram right now. He takes this photo of me on this fucking motorcycle and he sends it to me. And Christy and I, my ex, were at Ocean Beach, and I look at this photo and I started squealing like a giraffe in heat. I was like, like, I couldn't.
That was very Mickey too.
I know.
I just couldn't.
Oh boy.
I absolutely lost my fucking shit, and it totally turned my perception of myself upside down. I had never seen myself in that light. I never realized that, like, even at that time, I was like at the height of my weight gain. And I never thought that I could look that hot. It really changed everything for me. And that friend, his name's Jiang Chen. He's a great photographer. If anybody's in California, he's based in Reno, but he travels all over California. If anybody needs headshots, go see Jiang. He has become one of my closest, most important friends in my life, because he is the reason that my modeling career exists in the way that it does. he and I shot together all the time, and he like taught me how to stand in front of a camera. And he was that friend I had mentioned before who was like, you should get into plus size modeling. He and I did that shoot together only a couple months before Zach Miko signed with IMG. And when I had been submitting for agencies, like I didn't realize it was something that I wanted because I didn't think it was something that was possible for me. And when I had been building a portfolio, and it was really fun, and it was great for my dating profile after a breakup because I was, getting skinny for the first time and wanted to sleep with everything that had a pussy and a pulse. And
you are a giraffe and Keat after all.
I am.
Okay, now remember, we are gay, so
a hole is a hole.
a hole is the goal.
Exactly.
Well,
but here, Paul, I just sent you this photo. So that was the motorcycle photo.
He slid into your DMs.
I know.
And you accepted it. Let's see.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Oh my!
I've been known to bless my followers with goodies every now and then if they're around long enough.
So wait, it's so interesting how you like kind of went on your journey. But do you think that being in musical theater and opera and all that kind of other stuff, that background helps you with modeling?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Because whenever I'll coach people for modeling sometimes, and whenever I literally had this conversation with a friend of mine the other day who is like a conventionally attractive woman, and she's been wanting to get into modeling, and but is hesitant for some reason. And I keep trying to tell her, like, if I can have a successful career as a model, you absolutely can. And they were asking me about like the way I interact with the camera and all that. And I'm like, I just look at the camera like it's someone I want to put my dick in. That's it. That's all I'm doing. That's it.
Everybody like that though.
It's like,
there's not a lot of people I want to put my dick in though.
but
select few. Jake Gyllenhaal.
It's a character. Like, it's an opportunity for me to like take on the character of myself when I, if and when that unicorn moment of me ever being fully confident in myself ever comes.
How philosophical is that?
Yeah, it's funny. It's like the I don't know, interacting with the camera felt so much more natural than I thought it did. Because the thing about taking photos is like they're not permanent, but they're permanent. It's like acknowledging that you exist. And when you take a photo and you put it out in public, even if you delete it later on, maybe someone caught a screenshot or something, but it's like, it's that acknowledgement of like, I exist. This is what I look like. Here's what I am. And that was something that I was really, really, really super intent on hiding for a really long time, because I wasn't confident in my body, wasn't confident in my appearance, and wasn't confident in myself. Excuse me. So the modeling actually really helped me with my performing, because it made me realize that, there was just an article that came out by this writer, Zach Finkelstein, about fat shaming and gatekeeping in opera around people's weight. And in 2014, I was studying with a super famous voice teacher in New York City. And I had gained a lot of weight, and I had started the process of losing weight. I was actually working at a gym and, would work with one of the trainers, and I had lost like 35 pounds and I was feeling really good about it. And I told my voice teacher that, and this woman said to me, this is a verbatim quote. After I said, hey, I lost 35 pounds, she said, good, 120 more to go. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would have
punched
you in the face. Well, that's
mind you,
I wouldn't have beat up a woman, but
yeah. Mind you,
my
I'm paying this fucking bitch $225 an hour for this too. It's like, I'm paying you to teach me how to sing, not emotionally abuse me. Thank you very much. Yeah. So
that's a social media
yeah. So more people have given me shit about my physical appearance and my weight in the opera world, which, like, I literally have a picture of Pavarotti on my wall.
I was just going to say, he is not a small person, and as a great vocalist.
Funny story, I'm not going to name names here.
I don't know her.
This particular teacher, her husband was Pavarotti's best friend. and he always they were more or less the same size. And he always used to tell a story about how when they first met, Pav stole all of his V-neck T-shirts because they didn't have those in his size in Italy. Which I always thought was a really funny story.
Me and Pav.
Right.
So with the opera singing and stuff, like what part do you sing? Have you performed with any companies in New York?
I'm a tenor. I've sung all over New York. I mean, here's a good one for you. My favorite opera is Fanciulla del West by Puccini. It is an opera set in the gold rush in California, and the main character's name is Dick, literally. And the whole opera is essentially a 3-hour dick joke, right?
Oh my God.
Much like Gilligan's Island was a 3-hour tour, this is a 3-hour dick joke sung in Italian.
Oh my God.
There is a moment at the end of Act 1 where there's one female character in this opera. Her name is Minnie. And at the end of Act 1, Dick and Minnie have fallen in love, and she says, "Per sempre Dick," which is always Dick. And the Met put this on in 2019, and I went. My old roommate was a conductor at the Met, and we went to go see the final dress rehearsal, and it was like an open dress for all the schools in New York City. And when I saw all these children around, I immediately got so excited for that moment in Act 1, because at the Met, they have the super title cards in front of every seat. So all of the kids, like, they don't know what's going on in Italian, but they can read the super titles of what's happening. And when that moment was about to happen, Minnie on stage says, "Per sempre Dick," and then it pops up on the screen, and this wave of laughter goes through the whole theater, in a 4,000-seat theater. And then you hear the subsequent wave of all the teachers going, "Shh, shh, shh," and I am howling laughing. Here's the story of how I got my job teaching chess to children. I was in Edinburgh doing the Fringe Festival in 2017. No, in Scotland.
In Scotland.
In Scotland. When the pandemic ends and we can UK and the UK and Europe decide they want to let us disgusting Americans in their country again,
we are close.
You guys have to go. You have to go. I'm telling you, you have to go to Edinburgh in August. You have to do it. You have to do it. Everything that could be turned into a theater or a bar is. If not both. It's incredible. So I was there doing a show. I met a comedian. He did this show. His name's Kevin Doyle. It's called The 30-Year-Old Virgin. It's on the Apple iTunes store. It's fantastic. You should watch it. I met Kevin, and his best friend came to visit Scotland, and he happened to be a character in the show. He kept being referred to as the Donut Man. And I kept thinking, there's no way the Donut Man is a real person. The Donut Man is a real person. And when the Donut Man showed up, like, this was when I had my long hair, the big beard, and we were the same size and we looked almost exactly alike. It was so funny because it was like the meme of the Spider-Mans pointing at each other.
Yeah.
and
but Donut Mans.
Right. And I don't know if you guys know who. No, I played a
Maple Bar
dealer in this show.
Oh, that.
Right. So I don't know if you guys know who Roddy
Frankles.
Bottom is.
Who?
Do you know who Roddy Bottom is? He was the pianist from Faith No More. That would be an interesting interview for you guys, actually. He has a new musical group with his partner called Man on Man.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you guys
that.
would get a kick out of Roddy.
We like Man on Man.
And I love a Roddy Bottom.
Hey! I'm gonna have to send him that snippet. That's hilarious. So the Donut Man knew who Roddy was, and he came to see my show. And like, really randomly, his cousin's wife was also in the show. But then we decided to go party that night. I went and I was supposed to sing Bohemian Rhapsody at this concert show called Masioki, which is karaoke with like a full live band in front of about 1,500 people. Oh. And then we went to one of the artist bars and drank a whole bunch of espresso martinis. And then I told him this story about that opera where the main character's name is Dick. So I was doing this show in 2013, and we had this crazy Italian director who spoke no English. And his name was John Domenico Vaccari. He's to this day my favorite director I've ever worked with. And keep in mind, there's one female character in this opera. There is one woman in this rehearsal room. And the chorus is all comprised of young artists. And so all of us are guys in our early 20s. So we're as mature as a group of 7-year-olds. Mm-hmm. And so we're staging the third act mob scene, where we find out that Dick is actually Ramirez, the leader of the gang of bandits that's trying to steal the gold from the Polka Saloon that Minnie owns, who we are all in love with. So, of course, he's going for our gold and the one woman in the camp that we're all in love with. Of course, our egos are very, very injured. And we are trying to kill him. We're all trying to allaccio Dick. And in Italian, allaccio translates directly to hang. So we are all trying to hang Dick. And picture 40 guys in their 20s, if not even more than that. And this crazy Italian director, and we're standing around in a big clump getting ready to run through it. And he comes up to us, he's like, allora così, in this situation, you are crazy. Pazzo, you want blood, sangue. And then he gets even, and we're all just like, yeah, fuck yeah. We're crazy. We want some blood. Fuck yeah. And then he gets even really quiet and really intense. And he looks at us and he's like, you want dick. Now, at this moment, there are so many important people in this fucking room. Lauren Mizell, this like legendary conductor, the head of casting from English National Opera. There's a big agent in the room. Like, there are important eyes with career implications watching us to make sure that we're not children, which we are. And of course, John Domenico keeps going. He's like, Dica must hang. Now, at this point, I'm trying so hard not to laugh. I actually like bit part of my tongue off because and he keeps going. And then he's finally like, we must have a bloody dick. And then we lost our fucking minds. And it shut rehearsal down for about 30 minutes.
That's it?
I just couldn't stop laughing about it.
And so then,
so then the poor stage manager raising their hand, they're like, friends. And we're just like, ha 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 ha. So the best part was John Domenico's assistant, Davide, who, like, close your eyes and picture a 70s Italian porn star.
Oh.
Okay? So Davide had like a ginger afro with like a giant mustache, like giant Village People level mustache. And then he would wear these like 70s-esque 3-piece suits every day and had the biggest bulge I've ever seen in the wild in my entire life. Davide was a cartoon character. He was amazing.
What dick?
And Davide goes up to John Domenico and he's like, allora così, John Domenico, dick e pene. And John Domenico turns beet fucking red when he realizes why we're all laughing. I tell Harlan that story. I tell the Donut Man that story, and he puts his shoulder on me. Puts his hand on my shoulder, and he says, "You have to work for me." And I said, "Doing what?" And he said, "Teaching chess to 3-year-olds." And I said, "I don't know how to play chess." And he goes, "It doesn't matter. You can tell a story." So, yeah, there's my. That's my.
That was a journey.
It was a journey.
But you do, I mean, evidently you can tell a story. So this is the case in point.
Okay, but you can tell a story, but we haven't heard you sing yet.
Oh, that's not happening.
Do you have any recordings that we can reference and or put and or listen to?
Yes, I will send you guys a couple of those.
He's not prepared.
I'm not prepared, and I haven't practiced in a year, so I'm not putting.
Well, your storytelling is music to our hearts, anyway.
There you go.
I appreciate that. What other questions you guys got for me?
So you live in New York. Like, how is it different now, like after COVID, than it was pre-COVID? Like, what do you see? Like, what is the daily life there and stuff? It's like, because I know nothing's really open, like Broadway and stuff like that. It's not open, so
it's slowly coming back to life. I am fully vaxxed as of. I'll be fully like, I got my second shot 12 days ago.
So you're good.
Yeah, the one time, theoretically, I mean, the one time my BMI has ever done anything good for me. So I actually was living up in Upper Manhattan in Washington Heights for the last 5 years, and I just moved to Brooklyn. And
that was going to be, I was going to ask where you're at. Nice.
Yeah, so I live in South Park Slope now, and I got to say there's a huge difference in the level of mask wearing and compassion for neighbors in my neighborhood now versus my old neighborhood. Fauci actually said, there was an interview that came out that like the New York variant came from my old neighborhood. Yeah. And that's because like people were not wearing fucking masks. Like you'd walk
Washington
by
Heights where Washington Square is.
No. Washington's excuse me. Washington Square is in the West Village near NYU.
Oh
yeah. So,
clearly
Washington Heights is where In the Heights was set.
Oh,
yeah.
Washington Heights. There we go. Yeah. That's all I know. We were gonna do we were gonna do a Broadway show for the Gay Men's Chorus, and then that didn't happen. And that was the only thing that happened.
Right. So
in Brooklyn.
Yeah. So Brooklyn. I mean, it's very different. Like I got a puppy, and I got a COVID puppy in August, and the first time I took a walk outside in New York City with the dog and took my mask down at any point was when I moved to Brooklyn, and I would like walk around at night and there wasn't a soul on the street. But it's slowly coming back. I am going to be more cautious than most, I think. I'd really like to not kill someone's grandma, but restaurants are starting to open back up again. And, there's small plans for reopening theaters and things like that. So it's slowly coming back. I mean, the weather is nice finally, and it's really great. When the weather turns in New York City, it's like the single greatest day in the world. That first sunny day, everyone is in a good mood. Like everyone, every single person. And then they get in a bad mood
because they're in a rush.
Well, no. It's unbelievable. It's like everybody's riding a unicorn. Like truly, everyone is in a good mood on the first nice day after winter. It is. If in case anyone ever needed more,
except that person there beeping their horn.
Yeah. Damn you!
As if there was any more. Sorry.
No, Go ahead. I'll ask my question after.
As if we needed any more proof that seasonal depression was real. It's like that first warm day where the sun's out and you're happy to be outside. It's like, why do I feel like I'm on ecstasy right now? Oh, because I need sunlight to feel happy.
Well, and post-pandemic too. How long have you been in New York? And then how would you say, obviously it's totally different than San Francisco or California. And then how'd you kind of, I guess, do you see yourself in New York long-term?
New York has ruined everywhere else in the world for me.
Oh.
Not
Edinburgh. Edinburgh.
That's true. No, Edinburgh is probably my favorite place in the world. But New York has ruined every other American city for me. Like gotcha. Both of my mother grew up in Massachusetts but lived in New York for like 20 years. My father's almost 90. My dad's an angry old Jew from the Bronx. So I moved here in August of 2011. So I'm nearly 10 years in, and I love it. I mean, it is home. I was always destined to be a New Yorker. I'm super impatient and I love yelling at strangers. So I really belong here.
You fit right in.
Yep. This is the great contradiction of my personality. And like my aunt came to visit me in New York a few years ago, and she called me out so beautifully because I love yelling at strangers. I love it. Oh my God, it's my favorite. Like when people stand in the doorway on the train when you're trying to get in, or when you're trying to get out, they like rush on before they let you off, or like some dude wearing a backpack on a packed train. Like I love just being like, take your fucking backpack off. Oh, because I let out my aggression on strangers being assholes, so I don't then take that aggression to people I care about. And my aunt called me out and she was like, you yell at strangers so you don't yell at people you love. And I was like, yep. Yep.
Thanks, Auntie.
Right. So, I, like that part of my personality loves being in New York, but then there's also the part of me that my favorite thing is when tourists, I fucking hate tourists, but I love it. I love it when they ask me for directions. Because it's like it's that signifier that like, oh, you're a legit New Yorker. Like they think I'm a real New Yorker. Ha! I'm not a transplant anymore.
You are.
At this point, I absolutely am. I mean, once you've put your 10 years in,
it's your tenure.
Yeah.
I used to think tenure was 10 years.
Same.
I did. But it's not.
It's like there is nothing that brings me more joy. Like I will actively seek it out. I will look for people on the street who are looking for directions, and I'll go up to them and be like, "You need directions?" I love it.
Okay, so wait, I have a coffee question. Are you a coffee drinker?
I am, yeah.
A coffee drinker? Because I know that people are pretty particular over there. Like, are you a Dunkin' person? Are you other? Do you like this? Oh, he's shaking his head no.
Dunkin',
I have an aversion to Dunkin' Donuts, that's why.
There is well, you're also in California. It's not right out there. But there's okay. There's like a TikTok trend going around about Dunkin' Donuts where it's either like you take a sip of it and it's either like the perfect iced coffee or it tastes like it's out of the Charles River, which is pretty accurate. Dunkin' is a desperation coffee for me where if there's absolutely nothing around, I'll go there. Also, their pumpkin donuts in the fall. I don't like pumpkin anything, but their pumpkin donuts are fucking good.
I love pumpkin.
So like I'll do corporate coffee if I'm desperate. Like I'll do like Starbucks has decent espresso, but also like fuck Howard Schultz. I think that's the name of the CEO of Starbucks, right? Starbucks is just convenient. I've been drinking more Starbucks during the pandemic just because it's convenient, because I can order it ahead and I don't have to spend more time inside with people who have their like nose penis hanging out of their mask. But I'm a make your own kind of guy. I've got a Bialetti stovetop percolator that's the best coffee maker in the world, and because you can buy the cheapest shittiest coffee and it makes it fucking delicious.
Mm-hmm. I think I have
my favorite coffee in the world is Phil's. Phil's is the king.
Really?
It's a California thing. Oh yeah, Phil's is the best. And Blue Bottle.
Do you like the minty one? Do you get that minty one?
The one with the hint of minty freshness?
Yeah. The toothpaste coffee.
I'm a Mocha Tesora guy because, like, if you're going to Phil's, you're going to go big. Yeah, if you're going to Phil's, you're going to go big.
Yeah, I think it's a Bay Area thing. I don't think there's a Phil's coffee down here in San Diego.
Oh, really? It is a Bay Area thing. But I used to love Blue Bottle, and then Nestle bought Blue Bottle, and Nestle's a big bunch of water stealing cunts. So fuck Blue Bottle. Oh. Yeah.
Even the Nestle Tonhouse.
Oh yeah, the CEO of Nestle denies the fact that water is a basic human right. So Nestle and every other company associated with them can eat shit and die. But
okay, well, I will not eat Nestle chocolate chips.
Don't sponsor us, Nestle.
Nestle, I'll talk to you offline because I love your chocolate chips and your sweet condensed milk.
So, all right, so we're gonna wrap up here, but Alex, it's been amazing having you on. But before you go, we always have our guests do a quick fire 3 questions for you.
Rapid fire.
All right, let's do it.
Lasers.
All right. So, what kind of candy would best describe you?
Oh shit.
See, I'm a good and plenty. Okay.
Oh, because licorice is a weird flavor and not a lot of people like you.
Let's go with a gobstopper.
Because you're everlasting. Ooh, tell that. Oh, that's right. Everlasting. He's everlasting. And he'll stop your gobs.
Layers, and it'll stop your gob. That's right.
Oh my god, he's like an onion. He's like Shrek.
We are.
Ogres are like onions. Onions have layers.
We do it often too. It's in a lot of our things. I don't know.
I mean, do I detect a hint of minty freshness from a couple minutes ago is another Shrek reference. A Shrek-frence, if you will. A Shrek-frence, if you will. Yeah.
Ooh, we're going to start using that. A Shrek.
Okay, well, that's my rapid fire question then is all-time favorite movie.
Oh, fuck. Blazing Saddles.
Okay.
Ooh,
yeah. That was quick.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, Mel Brooks, like, no movie Mel Brooks ever made would get away with being made today, but like the wagon train scene is the funniest thing I've ever fucking seen. Like, it is. I showed my girlfriend. I tried to get her. I was like, okay, I'm going to share something really important. My dad, old angry Jew from the Bronx, like, he raised me on Mel Brooks movies. I got suspended in the 4th grade before I learned that, like, consent is a thing and not to just, you can't walk up behind people and hump them on the butt and go, "It's good to be the king." I think my dad would, like, show me Mel Brooks movies just to see what I would go to school the next day and say, for his own entertainment.
Now that's a good father.
Yeah, it's right. I definitely walked up to school one day. And never mind. I don't need to. You know. Never mind. Let's cut that last bit out. But yeah, like the wagon train
Blazing
scene is
Saddles.
hilarious and all that. Blazing Saddles for sure. But I tried showing the trailers for History of the World and Blazing Saddles to the person I'm dating currently. And not a single laugh during either trailer while I am, like, rolling on the floor, cackling my ass off.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You might need it.
At least the sex is good.
Oh, that's
Sex is pretty good.
everlasting gobstopper.
I don't want to know about it, but good for you.
Do you guys want to hear a really horrible story? I think she I won't ever tell her I did this podcast, but I'm a whore. Hi, my name's Alex. I'm a whore. And
same girl.
Over COVID, my buddy James, who would be another really interesting guest for you guys. James is the yin to my degenerate yang. He is this, like, 6'5" bleach blonde drag queen. And he and I met at an opera festival one summer, and we were there for 49 nights. And we were blackout drunk 48 of the 49 nights that we were there. The only night that we weren't was the one night we didn't hang out. And James and I found this calculator on Reddit of your, like, STD exposure based on every person you've ever slept with. And he and I hopped on a Zoom call and we went through our body count. And I broke the calculator. And I happened to, like, make a list. And I did not think to then take that list and rip it up into little pieces. So I moved, and my girlfriend helped me move, and she had a rehearsal because she's a dancer the day after we moved into my new place, or she helped me move into my new place, and she needed a notebook for rehearsal. And I gave her a notebook, not realizing that it was the notebook that had the list in it. And she found it in rehearsal while rehearsing the piece that they were rehearsing. And then confronted me about it afterward, and I was like, I have no choice but to tell you the complete and total truth here. I had never been hot before. It was like a newfound superpower. I was like a gopher looking for a hole. So
she had the receipts.
Mm-hmm.
Was it pages?
And
also, body count sounds like you murdered people.
Fair point.
I was like, body count?
It was not pages, but it was enough that it would make anyone who, like, didn't really genuinely care for whatever I have to give run the fuck away. And she did not. So we'll give her a pass on not finding Mel Brooks funny for this one.
Okay. There you go. All right. So since you're friends, you have friends who are drag queens, I'm going to ask you this. What would your drag aesthetic be?
Odd mod.
Oh, he was quick.
I have a whole character. She's a whole old lady. My name's
What's her name?
Maud.
Oh, Maud? Okay.
Odd Maud. My name's Maud.
Oh my god.
My fucking husband, Henry, let me tell you about this fucking piece of shit.
Oh my god.
Henry was not a good man. The sex was horrible. Henry made me come. Once.
Odd Mod. Is Mod M-A-U-D-E?
M-A-U-D-E, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
Are there any photographs of you as Odd Mod? Have you done Odd Mod?
I came up with her over quarantine, and James is going to be Mary Fagdalin, and I'm going to be Odd Mod.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, this
We're gonna
collaboration
come up with a
needs to be
little variety
posted, and
hour.
we'll have to link it somewhere when it happens. So next week will be cool.
We might have to give it a little bit more time than that, but yeah.
2 weeks, got it.
Well, Alice, it's been amazing talking to you. So tell our listeners again how they can find you on social medias.
I am Alex Frankle, the lion-haired. I am also on Twitter, Tenorsaurus Rex, Tenorsaurus Alex. I don't really ever tweet anything except for telling Ari Fleischer he's a whiny little limp dick cunt. So that's basically the extent of my tweeting. My Twitter's kind of useless.
And
Ari
are you on
Fleischer, by the way. I am on TikTok, but I'm mostly just there to lurk and waste time and
He's a voyeur.
Melt my brain.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what were you going to say about Ari?
Ari Fleischer was George W. Bush's Sean Spicer. He was his press secretary, and he's just like the pearl clutcher of them all. And I just love calling him an asshole on social media. It's my favorite thing. Okay. That's all I use Twitter.
Hey, we all have our hobbies.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, thank you guys, and thank you, Alex, for being on our show. We appreciate it, and have a great day.
It was a pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Have a great week, everyone.
Special thanks to Andrew Smith and Nick Stone for producing the show. If you like us, please follow us at tugayspod on Instagram and visit us online at tugayspod.com. You can find us anywhere you can stream podcasts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know topics you'd like to hear. And always remember, stay safe, stay classy, stay sassy, and always stay a little bit trashy. See you next week.